Welcome, everybody. As I was just saying a second ago, happy Wednesday. It kind of doesn't feel like Wednesday. It feels sort of like Monday, but we've had just an amazing, lovely 4th of July weekend. And I hope everybody had an awesome day yesterday with their friends or their family. And so today's cartoon gratitude is one of today we were just grateful for everything. And that just bundles everything together. So that's my gratitude today, just everything. So yesterday, a lot of us were on Anna's Zoom, and it was just a great Zoom of beautiful pictures and dreaming about, you know, what we want to do in life, and really doing our dream board in our mind and looking at all of the things that, Anna looks at on a daily basis. And really and truthfully, sometimes we forget to put that stuff in front of us that really, one of the things when I started with Miriam, the whole idea was this is a vehicle to do the things you're most passionate about and do things that you want to do long term. For Robert and I remember saying early on, oh my gosh, it was so great to be able to think about getting a car. And then it was so great to think about helping other people get a car. But what I always had on my mind was, wow, if I could make some extra money, maybe we could get that Maui beachfront property. And so, that Zoom yesterday was a great reminder for me to definitely have those pictures in front of me and be thinking about them every single day. And I was on the tennis court yesterday, and I was talking to this girl, and she was telling me about, her work schedule, and we were talking about some things, and I said, whenever anything negative comes into my mind, I just say in my head, Maui beachfront property, Maui beachfront property. And I'm retraining my brain to just go right from negative right to positive, just go back to where I really, really want to be. So that's my dream. I want to have my Maui beachfront property. I don't care if it's a shack. I just want it to be right on the beach, and I want to be able to look at that all day long and go play tennis and do all those types of things. I'm pretty simple, right? So, okay. So I, in the last year that we've been doing this Zoom, one of the things that I think is paramount in all of our businesses is implementing what we learn. And sometimes we, every day we come up with certain different small content to kind of give ideas about what we could be doing that might, help us grow our business or help somebody on our team grow their business. And everybody's different. But implementation is literally the thing that it differentiates you from somebody else. And it also differentiates where you can find success. So the implementation of the ideas that you like, they're your ideas to take, but implementing them on a consistent basis and utilizing the slide edge is really where you kind of see the success of what it is you decided on. And so, we've gone over lots of different things that we've used. I told you guys a few months ago about reading that book and how I really have implemented Power Notes and implemented communication and implemented my calendar to really look forward to meeting up with people and new people. And I've conscientiously decided to become more social and things like that. So that's kind of something that I took and I decided I was going to implement and stay consistent with it. But any of you can decide on anything. But the main thing is we want to stay, as a mastermind, implementation of what we decide to do is critical for our business. And so that's all it is. It's a process of putting a decision or plan into effect, executing it, and staying consistent in the slide edge. So yesterday, Anna had a slide that I thought was really interesting. It said 79 million people are going to start a home-based business in the next 5 years. And it was out of Forbes magazine. And I thought, part of my communication to people is asking questions. Remember, we're master askers. So we want to definitely implement questions into our business, into what we're doing, into our social network. And so I loved this because it goes along with everything that's happening in the world right now, where we know that a lot of these malls and these chains of stores that we've known for many, many, many years are closing down. And where are all those people going to go? Where are all those salespeople going to go? Where are they going to be able to get a job? There's not going to be giant malls of the Macy's. They're they're closing, I think, 125 Macy's across the United States. This is significant when you think of all the employees that are going to be there. So where are all those people going to go, and what are they going to need to do to be able to make up the difference in the incomes that they have? So I've done this before, and I don't know if I've ever really shared it with you guys, but I thought this was a perfect opportunity to bring into your communication a survey. So basically it's, hi, my company's asked me to do a survey based on a Forbes magazine article that said 75 million people will start a home-based business in the next 5 years. I was wondering if you would answer 4 quick questions. And I think there are people in our life that, know what we do. They've watched us. But if we actually picked up the phone and said, my company's asked me to do this survey, it makes perfect sense, right? Do you have a home-based business right now? If so, what is your home-based business? I'd love to know. Maybe we could network together. Maybe we could help each other. And if not, have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about doing a home-based business? And if so, would you be open to hearing about one? And you have to be okay if they say no. It's okay. It gives you a lot of intentionality when people say no, because you know where they stand. And then if they say yes, you can do a number of things in our business that are very, very simple and that are actually our system. You can transition someone into a 3-way call, and you can basically say, I'm so glad you said that. I have someone that I would love you to hear their story. When's a good time for that? Do you have any time right now? This would really help me and my company on our survey. You can invite them to a party at your house, a tasting party. Well, I don't know if this is for you. I don't know if it's, something that I know you said you might be interested in hearing about something, but gosh, I'm having some friends over. We're all going to taste our new superfood. Or you can invite them to a market party, same thing, or send a video and say, well, gee, if you're open to hearing that, I'd love to send you a video about my company. And that's what we need to get good at. We need to get good at utilizing the tools that we have, because we have a lot of them, and utilizing them in a way that's very natural and very intentional and very easy. And so I thought that maybe as a mastermind group, if this was comfortable for you, you might want to utilize the information that Anna shared yesterday, and maybe we could do some surveys and really find out where everybody's at. Because I think that people do think about it, but I think people think it might be too hard, or it's one of those things. I was telling Robin earlier today that I ran into a friend over the weekend, and she said, I always get this question, oh, are you still doing Nerium? And I said, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited about it, and I brought out my youth factor. I said, this is our newest product, and I'm super excited about it. And she said, I never got started with Nerium. I was approached by it, but I had done Melaleuca. And I actually felt like I was pretty successful at it, but it was taking me away from what my main passion is, which is acting. And I said, oh my gosh, I go, really? I go, I would think it would be a perfect marriage for somebody who was in acting, because it's basically home-based business. You can do it when you want, and it's a vehicle to do the things you're most passionate about. So if you're passionate about acting, it should open up some time freedom for you to really be able to do the things that you're most passionate about. And she said, well, actually, it took up a lot of my time, and I thought that I was not getting enough of my acting, as I wasn't focusing on my acting. And it's interesting, because when you're first starting a business, and a lot of us on this Zoom, we know that in the very beginning of building a team, you are spending a lot of time to build your team. But once you build a team of people that want to do what you want to do, the time freedom starts to show up. And that's not to mean that you don't work on your business, but you have enough people in your business doing 1 or 2 hours a day that you kind of start seeing that consistency of when that shows up. And I don't think she stayed in it long enough to really reap those types of benefits, right? Because she was feeling like she wasn't focused enough on her acting. So it's kind of a slippery slope in terms of, people and how they feel. So when you ask them questions, right? We talk about this all the time. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Questions are the thing that's going to really give you the information on how you're going to follow up and how you're going to stay in touch. So basically I told her, I said, well, you know what, let me send you some information about Nerium, because I really feel like, if you understand the business model, this might be for you. And really, since I was in the acting world and I was an agent, I really have met with so many actors that have been able to put this into their life in perspective, and what works for you. And so when you become a master asker and you're constantly asking questions, you learn so much about the people that you know. And if you're not afraid to ask questions, you may get a lot of no's, but it's so interesting because no's over time become maybes, and maybes over time become, okay, I'll take a listen, because people watch you and your success and what you're doing and your consistency, right? And your implementation. People want to follow people that know where they're going. People want to follow people that know how they're going to get there. They want to know that you're excited. They want to know that you're consistent. They want to know that you didn't give up. And that's really the sign of true success. So I shared this slide with you guys at the end of the month last month. And I wanted to share it at the beginning of the month because I think having your whiteboard in play in your first week in business, now that the vacay is over and we're kind of into July, planting our seeds right now before we go to convention is really critical. That's one of the reasons why they do the convention in July, is because they know that, a lot of people are running around during the summer with family and they're taking their vacations and whatever, but it's a great time to plant seeds. It's a great time to really communicate with people and to really, put them on your board, see who's might be interested in your survey, start building your 10 in play, start really, looking at it. And you can make this was the whiteboard at the end of last month where there were promotions going on. We have another promotion that Anna told us about, and we have, so you can put your whiteboard any way that you want that works for you as a business person. This was from last month, and it's just a good way to kind of look at something every single day and know who you're trying to help on your team and where you want to go. Right now, what I'm doing is I want to make sure that everybody is getting 3 or free qualified, and they're working on that now so that they don't have to crunch that later. And when you do that, you watch your volumes go up, right? We've talked about how having a 3 or free organization is a solid organization that helps everybody rank advance. And so when you do that in the beginning of the month and you just help yourself and other people get 3 or free, you can really look at your inventory of your business and really know where you stand. So it's a good thing to do. So I saw Robin had this on her Facebook and I put it on my Facebook. I love this because really and truthfully, this is a wonderful poster of our products and what they do. And I just think that I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I can look at this and say, wow, over the last 5 years, we've put together such a beautiful array of products that are all just individually so unique and different and work. And I couldn't be more grateful. It was a wonderful reminder of what we have. And I think it's something to share. I think it's something to print out and send in the mail on a power note and say, look at what we've done in 5 years. We're a multi-billion-dollar company. This is it was just hit me, and I was so proud to be part of this company, and that's what I basically said. I said, I'm so proud to be a top producer of this company because I love these products. And that's what it boils down to for me. So I wanted to share that with you in case you wanted to take a screenshot. You can kind of get it on my Facebook, and I know Robin posted it as well. But these are the things that, build my belief on a daily basis and keep me believing in why I'm involved with Nerium, is because these products are so amazing. And we are doing a fantastic job of sharing these products over time, and it's only going to get better. In the next couple of weeks when we go to convention, we're going to have 2 more products to bring into our line, and that's just incredible. And then, as we know, Jeff Olson shared with us that next year we're going to have another elite product in the acne cream. And as we've talked about, when you have a product that works 40% better than anything else on the market, and it's proven and has clinicals, you've got something that nobody else has. That's an unbelievable investment in your life, in your future. And, that's what happens when, you know, you have a company that does the work of quality and wants the very best product out on the market. So we started with this night cream. It had the same thing. It had a 30 to 60% improvement in your overall skin health. And we forget, because that's the only product we had when we started. And I remember those clinicals, 30 to 60% improvement of anything else on the market in clinical trials. That's what we had, and we ran with it. We ran like our hair was on fire. We ran as fast as we possibly could. This is what we've got in every single product, and sometimes we take that for granted, and we really shouldn't, because it's very unique. So today, I will tell you that I feel very, very grateful for each and every one of you being a part of our workout partners and our mastermind. And I want to remind you that having a workout partner yourself personally is really, really important to growth and development. So, you know, whether it's your spouse or somebody else maybe on this Zoom or somebody in your business, you know, Robin and I have been workout partners since the day she joined Miriam. And we talk every single day. And it's not that we talk for an hour. We talk for a few minutes, we catch up on life, and we basically put our game plan into action. And it's something that helps you be accountable for what you're doing that day. And we know that by just kind of plugging in together, it helps us to be strong. And in those times or days that we're not feeling it, we know that we're safe in just saying, you know what, I'm not feeling it today. Gosh, I need a pep talk, or, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? That's called just business. And when you have a workout partner or workout partners that you can rely on to go over your business and run things by and check in with and be accountable and put goals in place and set yourself up to, you know, win at that goal. This is how every business person does it. Every main company, successful people do this because they know accountability is everything. So you will only hold yourself accountable for goals that others know about. Tell someone what you're up to. So if you don't have a workout partner, it's time to find one. And I think as we go through the summer, some of the things that we do with our workout partner will definitely show up. You know, in times out of the year in being in sales, I can tell you in the entertainment business, the summer, you know, everybody went on vacation. I mean, really the entertainment business shuts down typically for a couple of months, and you really don't book a lot of business. Your main business that I always did was mostly when the fall schedule started all the way up until 2 weeks before Christmas. And then January was pretty much, you know, slow. And then pilot season started. So we knew that we had to do a certain amount of business in those times where production was happening. And we knew it was the same every single year. So we planned for it. And it's the same in retail. It's the same right now. If you're in the mall, you're seeing that every single store is 50% off. Some stores are 60% off. That happens every single year in retail. When we had our store, you know, it was a ghost town during the summer months, because in summer, everybody's traveling and they've already bought whatever they want for their summer. You know, they want to put all their money towards their vacation. So if you don't feel like your business is booming every single minute of the summer, it booms if you are intentional about, you know, what you're doing, how you're communicating, how you're broadcasting, what it is that you're doing in terms of your own activity. Are you taking surveys? Are you communicating with people? You're planting seeds, and sometimes that turns into stuff that you didn't even realize was going to happen. And so that's the reason why when we go into convention, we come out of there just absolutely so excited about what we've learned, what we've heard, and we can implement that into all of the seeds we've planted, right? And all of the brand partners that weren't able to get there, we can share that. And our workout partner, we can come in with a plan of action so that we go in and we come out like, you know, just on fire. So workout partners are critical to your business. And I just wanted to remind everybody here, we work out together on this Zoom. However, we're not putting in place action steps to be accountable to each other, because there's a lot of us on here. And I think, you know, if everybody was interested in maybe putting a universal goal together for this group, that would probably be really cool to do. But, you know, this is a very volunteer Zoom, and I don't want to put that on anybody. But what I will say is, you know, if you want to be accountable on this Zoom and you want to do something, you know, let me know, and let's do something if everybody wants to do something like that. Because as a group, you can move a mountain. You can move an absolute mountain. So with that, you guys, I just want to remind my team about Anna's promotion that she's going to be doing up until Get Real. So when you get a 1 recruit or 2 new PCs, you are invited to a breakfast in Anna's suite, which will be happening at convention. And I think this is a wonderful, fun goal for all of us to look forward to as we get real. So with that, you guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know if anyone has anything to add or promote to the group, but I just appreciate each and every one of you for showing up today. And I know that we're going to have an awesome month ahead. So thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Annie.
Annie.
All right, you guys.
Bye.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
Annie.
day.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Annie.
Annie.
Have a great day.